What's up, guys? Doug Wrestling presenting another episode of the UMass Minutemen Rebuild. 4 years in, we've got a college football playoff appearance. We've made the MAC Conference Championship game in 3 out of 4 seasons, and we're looking for more. We're only recruiting New England talent, finding some gems, and we've decided to give Jimmy Schraff the keys to the kingdom as he will be our quarterback going forward. 2 draft picks last season, a top recruiting class in our conference as well, and we get our first 4-star commit. Boston College in Chestnut Hill is going to be our first. We finally got a 5-star interested in UMass, Titus Coco, a cornerback, and we're finding our niche in the New England territories, definitely finding our gems. Jacques Spears, another 5-star, and Flanagan, John Flanagan from Massachusetts. Our 4th rivalry game against the Boston College Eagles will find us on the road in Chestnut Hill. 3-game winning streak, driving down the field late in this contest to get us a victory. We get a pass to not the halfback, across the field, bringing in a big gain. We fast forward in the drive, a big run up the middle. But the game would be decided here as this pass intended for our halfback would be picked off inside the end zone, and we lose our first game to our in-state rivals. Looking to get back on the winning side of things against Navy, and we have a bit of a blunder here. Things not going our way. Jimmy Schraff handing the ball off around a defender here, and he's going a long way down the sideline, out of bounds at the 2. We sneak it into the end zone there, and a long field goal would tie the game at 10. If I can just find a receiver here, but we scramble instead. Jimmy down the sidelines, going to try to juke it back inside, breaking a tackle there, and picking up an extra 10 yards. We finish the drive with an RPO to our lineman, getting some reps as the tight end, and a short yard run there, followed up by a slant into the end zone, would give us enough points for a Week 2 win. The recruiting trail, we somehow got Titus Coco to commit to the team without even taking an official visit. So our first 5-star commit in this rebuild in year 5. Get a halfback corner route to get us a score. This Rucker game going very well. And a handoff here, a key block there. And he could go all the way. Minutemen, a big score late in this contest. And we win this one over a Big Ten foe. 24-17. Heading over to the Golden Flashes, Kent State recently adding a women's wrestling program. So we get Flanagan down the sidelines, and the direct snap to Cortez Braggs. Gonna get us a touchdown as well. The slot fade on the right side of the field, falling to the turf with a first down, and Jimmy's gonna pull it down for the QB read. All Minutemen in this one, player of the game to Mr. Scharf. So we'll get this halfback screen off just in time. Looking for some blocks down the sideline. One man to beat. Brought down inside the 15. Pulling it down, Jimmy. The beautiful read. This is why we gave him the starting nod at quarterback last season. His ability to move in the pocket. Looking to make amends for his earlier turnover. He's back to pass. Jimmy's going to find the defense once again. Going to give Temple another opportunity to put some points on the board. And that's just what they do. But we get a big run up the middle for a touchdown to give us the lead. And the wide receiver screen will put us in front once again. Player of the game to Bo McCormick. His big run earlier. We get a player conference of the week honor as Cortez Bragg, highlighted for his early running ability in this first part of the season. So McCormick back into the end zone. We picked him up out of the transfer portal. And a costly turnover biting us once again. A deep ball. Too much separation, and Snodgrass is inside the 5. Pulling it down, Jimmy. Another excellent read. This deep ball thrown a little out of the way. I think he came down with that. The defense. Oh, and a big costly hit to our leader. We throw it up to Snodgrass once again. Touchdown, Minutemen. A field goal late to tack on some late points. It's all Minutemen Snodgrass player of the game after 2 excellent catches. And the turnover ratio, not quite what we want. 1 touchdown pass for every 2 interceptions. Hopefully we can bring it in here and walk into the end zone. Unable to stay in bounds, but set up beautifully for some points against Central. We'll find a slant into the end zone. Cortez Bragg needing a block there. To the outside he goes. 10. A speed out. Throwing it back to our Missouri State days. We keep the MAC domination rolling on this visit week. A 4-star and a big-time pickup as we're going to get John Flanagan, one of the gems we found earlier in the year, to commit as well. So 2 4-stars committing, and Cortez Bragg springing loose against the Zips. We had a couple states over, a deep pass to Snodgrass. And we're finding a connection between Schraff and Snodgrass in this season in conference play. Breaking a tackle. Stay on his feet. Hitting the Dougie inside the end zone. Back to pass with a commanding lead. Surveying the field to the tight end. And would set up a short yard field goal opportunity. Controlling effort once again. So we're going to get McCormick up the middle. And a dagger to put this game away. All Minutemen. Cortez Bragg's player. The heir apparent to the UMass throne, Sonny Gooden, committing our 3rd 4-star commit. We also get our kicker of the future. And we're going to get another rivalry game against UB. This time it's going to be at home. They're going to wear their whites. We're going to wear our red tops. Looking for the slant inside the red zone to give us an early score. And a turnover, a big momentum-shifting play. And if we can find some points before the end of this half, we could put some breathing room between us and our opponents, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Flanagan into the end zone, back to pass, finding a needle in a haystack there on the completion, and it would lead to a McCormick short yard score. Complete domination. We're up by 18, looking for more. A separation inside the 5. We're looking to pad the stats here. The slant wide open, and we finally make amends for our early losses in this rebuild to UB. The head coach, he's super pumped. Pulling up in the pocket, Jimmy scampering up the seam later in the contest. Surveying the field, and he's going to have his 2nd rushing. And I've been super impressed by Jimmy's ability to limit his interceptions as we find a touchdown here through the air. Another big play for our offense. Flanagan coming through, and Cortez, another short yard score. We've really been putting together some dominating performances in conference play. Another big pass on the left side of the field, going to get us inside the 5. From there, we'd let Jimmy get his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game, and this would give him player of the game as well as conference player of the week honors in the MAC. We're still losing some top talent to Penn State. Marcus Spears deciding not to stick with us. This slant action getting us another touchdown. This has been a go-to play for us inside the red zone. And tipped, and we turn it over there. Trying to find the drag there. A defender not where he's supposed to be, and a great spin move. After the big play, we got options here coming out of the 2-minute timeout, and McCormick going to find his way into the end zone. We're looking to the RPO once again, and Jimmy, another tremendous pull-down decision, and we dominate Central once again. We're party rocking our way through the top 25, and we're going to get a lot of commits, keeping our winning streak intact. We're going to head to Ohio. Remember, boys, we lost to Ohio a couple seasons ago, and we're looking for the screenplay. Cortez Bragg's reading his blocks to perfection. There was a whole lot of running room cleared out, and we're getting the handoff to him. A great block there from the wideout, springing us for an extra 15 yards. A big first down for the offense. Momentum surging, finding our tight end in the flat, and a touchdown going to go to the Minutemen. Back to pass. No, it's a handoff to McCormick. A short yard score, but we keep things in manageable distance, defeating the Bobcats, escape. After ravaging conference play, there's only one thing left to do to head to Detroit for the conference championship game. The boys are fired up. We think we've got the right uniform combo to give us the extra oomph to get us a triumphant victory, and a pass like that will help the cause. Back to pass again. Schraff looking. The halfback is there. We turn that play into 3 points, but Jimmy going to take some wear and tear. Probably a sprained ankle on the play. A halfback handoff. And McCormick extending. Up by 3 scores now. We're looking to pad the stats. The backup's in the game, but he's going to be hit from behind as he lets go of the pass, and it'll be a scoop and score for the Rockets. Not quite the decision-making ability we're used to, but he's making up for it here with a scramble. Instead, he fumbles the ball. Luckily, he falls on it, and we're able to put 3 more points back on the scoreboard. A deep option here. Can we come down with it? You betcha. Inside the 10, it would lead to a field goal. But boys, we're heading back to the playoff. Another conference championship, the second in this rebuild. Not only are we picking up some trophies, we're going to break some records as well as Chinoin adding his name to the record books. Like I said, our second conference championship game, commits taking notice, but the Heisman going to go to the Oregon quarterback, Snodgrass, the player of the game in the conference championship game as well. And our first round matchup in the college football playoff, we're going to be severely outmatched in the Big House against Michigan. There you see it. One team in the 90s, one team in the 70s. But back to pass, Jimmy recovering from his sprained ankle in Detroit, juking back inside the 10, and would lead to an early 3-0 lead for the Minutemen. We're going to have to control the clock, control the air, just over a defender, Chinoin, inside of Michigan territory. We're looking for more on this play. We find him open again, taking a hit, hanging onto the ball. Jimmy against his former team. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We took him out of the transfer portal. He'd been sitting on the bench his redshirt freshman season. Another deep pass, but this time it's picked off. Once again, looking for some points before the end of the half. Can we get out? No, we won't be able to turn it into 3. Looking for a man deep down the field. We find the needle in the haystack. A handoff to Cortez Bragg, staying on his feet. He's into the sweet nectar of the end zone. Gonna hand it off to McCormick later in the game, and we get a program-altering win in one of the toughest places to play in the country. Somehow Sarkisian leaving Austin to go to Ann Arbor. Jimmy, player of the game against his former team, and a Fiesta Bowl berth against the Miami Hurricanes. Big opportunity. We've never even made the quarterfinals this far in our rebuild. Looking, tipped, intercepted, and it's going to be a touchdown. An unlucky play, but we have to keep rolling. He's going to stay on his feet, looking for 6, out of bounds inside the 20. Back to pass, Jay can't get that. And again, it's tipped into the hands of a defender. The quarterback not trusting his abilities. A big play there on the ground. And I'm going to settle for the field goal opportunity, but we're going to push it to the right. Plays we've been making all year seemingly not going our way against these much larger Power 4 opponents. We'll find our tight end wide open in the end zone. Going for 2, looking for the drag route again, and the game's going to be tied at 14. Miami chewing some clock off, running the ball very well. But we're find Cherry Hill, a handoff, and our third-string running back going to get the game tied at 21. But Miami chewing off the remainder of the clock. We have no other choice but to throw up a Hail Mary, and that is where our season would end. We'll head back to UMass in year 6. Hope you enjoyed the journey. Miami goes on to win the national championship, and I don't think we're going to have any boys getting drafted this year. We add to our coaching abilities. Let's see our draft results. Yep, nobody getting drafted this year. And Martin Spears ended up going to the Blue Devils. Some of our top gems not staying with us. Napolitano going to be our tight end of the future. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.